Hey guys, welcome back. This is one of our Mortal Kombat videos and we're going to be doing a pack opening. Multiple packs. Now the reason why we're not going to say exactly how much at this point, but we'll have it in the title, is we haven't decided. We're aiming for 100, but boredom and tediousness of opening so many packs and having to click through so many cards, we might cut it short, or maybe if we're going really well we might do a little bit longer. And if there's any sort of cuts that you notice, it'll be because our camera maxes out at 20 minutes, and if it takes longer than that, we might actually have to do an edit.
Yeah, and we'll try to mention it at the time that we're going to go through the edit.
So you'll see that this is not our regular account. It's an account where we've added a lot of souls.
49,000. We have a crap ton of souls.
Yeah, and we've got no gold characters except for the Liu Kang, which we clearly bought out because we don't have the guys that'll actually be able to complete it. And we're going to just buy a bunch of combat packs to get an idea of what the distribution of the characters you can get. So the reason why we're doing this is, one, for academically, for the information, because before this recent update there was a lot of people saying, oh, I got Kung Lao in a combat pack and all this kind of stuff, and there's no reliable place to get information.
Yeah.
Whereas in Injustice, for example, there were lots of guys that were doing multiple pack openings to give you an idea of what you could get. So this is interesting to us because there's at least four combat pack exclusives: Quan Chi, Assassin Kitana, Covert Ops Cassie Cage, and Shaolin Master Kung Lao. And it's useful because it seems like Cassie Cage is actually really a common drop, because you have a better idea of what you're going to get out of the packs and what the value is. And there's also, I think, 3 gold characters: the Reptile, one of the Johnny Cages, and Grandmaster Sub-Zero, that's not available in the combat pack.
So we're going to do it. We're going to show you just as it comes up, not too long on what each gold character is, and then at the end we're going to have a tally, and we're just going to go through the tally to see what we got and what we didn't get. So I say we just start now.
Yeah, have at it.
So we're going to click by really fast these if you want to just watch as it goes by. There we go. Oh, we fused it.
Well, you sort of can't avoid doing that.
Yeah.
It does take a long time. Maybe what we'll do is at some point we'll speed up the videos. Covert Ops Cassie Cage. Speak of the devil. And she's actually really powerful. She's probably one of the... She's my favorite gold character, actually. She may not be the most powerful, she's definitely my favorite.
There you go.
Alright, Stunt double Johnny Cage. Alright. So he's good. He stuns. On our main account we don't actually have him yet. He stuns on entry. All right.
Oh no.
I think we're definitely going to have to do something. Some video magic. All right, Spectral Ermac.
There we go.
So we're. How long is it taking to do each one of these? Oh yeah, it's taking almost a minute each. Alright, we did a bunch of jibber-jabber at the beginning, so maybe it's not a minute.
Amulet, and there we go.
Kung Jin Bojitsu. He's okay. He's not one of my favorite golds. He'll generate power if he blocks a special.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to get 100 because this is going to get tedious.
So no rare gear yet.
So we know the common gear because we've only gotten those 2, but we've got multiple copies of each.
And Mournful Kitana, not bad. So she'll give a bar of power to each of her Outworld teammates, which is kind of cool. Alright, anticipations. Oh, see, there's another Covert Ops Cassie Cage.
Yeah, so she appears to be pretty common.
For an exclusive, she's actually, yeah.
Come on.
So she's the only one we've got of the exclusives, and we've got 2 of her already. We've actually got 2 of her. Nobody else we've gotten doubles yet. Shaolin Kung Jin, he's good. The bar power to his martial artist teammates.
Oh, you never notice until you open somebody like this, there's a delay between where you can actually tap on the picture of the gold pack.
Demolition Sonya Blade, she's not bad. She gives 30% bonus attack to her Spec Ops teammates. My favorite ability, the passive, is one of the Kanos, the one that's cheap. I can't remember his name. His ability is actually that he's cheap. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's so funny. Like, Merc for hire.
Demolition Sonya Blade again.
Nice. Yeah, his ability is like called Mercenary or something like that, right? Where you...
Yeah. So she's not... Tactical actually has a stronger attack, I think, and higher health. She's got better stats, but she doesn't give a passive that's actually useful. Her passive is just her second special. Although originally Ninjutsu Scorpion, okay, not bad. He gives a 30% boost to martial artists, but her tactical used to give a starting bar of power. It wasn't listed in her card, and then they took it away after one of the updates. There's Ninjutsu again. Oh, so he's actually reasonably common. Yeah, at least in this sample size, small sample size.
Yeah, I guess it'll hopefully even out a little bit more as we get closer to 100.
So we've got a couple of the Scorpion, couple of Sonya Blade, couple of Cassie Cage already. Demolition Sonya Blade again. Alright. So you've got the beginnings of a pretty good team. Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage. That's actually a not bad combination. You get a little bit of extra power boost. And Cassie Cage will give you an unblockable chance for all Spec Ops teammates. Not bad at all. Hat Trick Kung Lao, so he is in there. Alright, so that was after since the update.
That is helpful information if nothing else is.
Yeah. I think, was Hat Trick the guy that gives the crit chance and crit boost?
Yeah.
I think he might have been. Balanced Kenshi. Alright. Balanced Kenshi will give you a bar of power for Spec Ops teammates to start. Not bad.
What time are we at right now?
We've got 7 minutes. We've run 7 minutes into it.
Okay, that's not bad.
Alright. Blood God Kotal Kahn.
There we go.
So he brings up a totem and stuff, right? And it's not really that.
Is that on entry or?
No, I think it's on his specials. It's really just a description of his specials. I've never actually played him.
Yeah.
I haven't had as much of a chance to try out different teams in Mortal Kombat because Injustice. Oh, Covert Ups, Cassie Cage again. I haven't had as much of a chance to try out Mortal Kombat now that Injustice. The new gear is making Injustice like a brand new game again.
So much fun, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Ninjutsu again. Wow. Alright, so we've got 4. Oh no, we've got 3 of Ninjutsu. 3 of Sonya Blade, the Demolition one, and 3 of Covert Ops Cassie Cage. I think Mortal Kombat's trying to tell us something. Hashtag. Mournful Kitana again. Interesting. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 12 cards from the combat pack we still haven't seen, and we've got 3 of them already.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Mournful Kitana.
Oh, again.
4 of them that we've got at 3 now. Alright.
Got a lot of packs to go still.
Yeah. So we've actually got the makings of a not bad team. I mean, you could really stick anybody with Cassie Cage, Spectral Ermac again.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You could stick anybody with Sonya Blade and Cassie Cage right now, and it makes a decent team because Cassie Cage can really go through anybody like butter with her unblockable chance. I mean, she's got a 3-hit combo, 25% chance on each attack, each hit, I think, of having it unblocked.
So, an underwhelming amount of gear, though.
D'Vorah, Swarm Queen. Yeah, nothing rare yet, which really sort of highlights the fact that rare gear really is rare.
Except with the new gear pack, it's less rare because coins.
Yeah, it's a drag. Alright, Shaolin Kung Jin. What's a drag is that after finally giving people what they want in an equipment pack and having it available for coins instead of souls, which are so hard to get, now coins are actually harder to get. I mean, you can still farm them. Don't get me wrong, you can still farm them. But they've taken away that, here's air quotes, daily challenge that was coming once a week for double coin bonus. Alright, so we haven't seen Balanced Kenshi again.
Again, yeah.
Alright, that's crazy.
And if there's interest, we might also do a gear opening too.
You're right, equipment pack. That'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Possessed Kenshi, finally. Alright. And if you're interested in the final thing, I think at the end of the video we'll just go over our final tally. So if you don't really care for all these, you can just scrub right through this.
Yeah, scrub.
Unlike us, where we're actually stuck, we can't actually do this in fast time.
I'm living it.
In, what's the Flash's thing? Master Souls, Ermac, he's a better one. Alright.
Bullet time?
Bullet time. Yeah, if only...
Also the Matrix thing.
Oh, that's true, right. That was Matrix was such a good movie. It almost, I mean...
No, what is... Uh-oh.
Is it crashing? I guess maybe this would... Oh, no. It's such a shame. The Matrix, the original movie, could have stood alone. Oh, cool. She's 4. That's her first copy of that card. I think it hurt the legacy, of the first movie. I mean, the second and third movies are okay. They were entertaining.
Yeah, they were enjoyable, they just didn't really stand up to any scrutiny.
Yeah. Which is a shame. I think that's the danger with a lot of things. More so, I think, in TV than in movies, because movies, not nearly as many... Stunt double. Alright, there's another Johnny Cage. It doesn't... Even though we do seem to see a lot of sequels, with TV shows, because you have so many episodes and so many seasons, you've just got more hours of stuff. And it's the danger of TV shows where a really great TV show can sometimes have mediocre seasons.
Yeah.
But movies are...
And it goes downhill faster because there's more of it.
Yeah. Kenshi again, Possessed. Alright, we're really seeing a pattern here.
Yeah.
There's still maybe 10 gold characters in the pack that we still haven't seen yet. We haven't seen any of the other exclusives. We haven't seen either Inferno Scorpion or...
Well, they got Hat Trick, right?
Grandmaster Sub-Zero. Oh, that's... Oh, right. My mistake. Yep, you're absolutely right. Yeah, but we've got 4 copies of Cassie Cage.
Yeah, so she's pretty common.
Spectral Ermac again.
So it seems like the ones that are common are really common, and the ones that aren't just don't come up. Again, it's a little early to say, but definitely there's patterns. So we're gonna get some guys that looks like to Elite 7.
So you got actually a really good team now with Balanced Kenshi, alright, Kung Jin Bojitsu.
Another one.
Because Balanced Kenshi is Spec Ops, he gives a bar power to all his teammates. You put in Demolition Sonya Blade, who will give 30% boost to everybody. And Covert Ops Cassie Cage, who will give everybody an unblockable chance. They're all good fighters on that team.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty good balanced team. I mean, you could really just solo with Cassie Cage with the Ninjutsu Scorpion again. You could really solo with Cassie Cage. But if you make a mistake or if we have an unbalanced kind of fusion level, although right now Balanced Kenshi is actually the only weak guy, and he gives a bar power, so we're okay with that. We don't need him to be that strong. Because his most useful... Hat Trick Kung Lao again.
Another one, okay.
Because his most useful attribute is his attributes are the 2 things. His extra bar power and his draining ability. And that's independent of his attack strength, right? So we don't even care. Oh, you saw Ant-Man recently, right?
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
Kotal Kahn. What did you like the most about it? I mean, you've seen other Marvel movies.
I liked the sense of humor because it had the sense of humor that a lot of other Marvel movies did at points in it, but a lot more of it seemed to be that kind of humorous superhero. There we go.
Yeah, I think Marvel can really afford to take chances on their properties that aren't their...
Oh, no.
That aren't their, sort of key things, like the really famous ones like Spider-Man and X-Men. They can't really afford to take chances the same way they did with, say, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. And those ones are the best, I think, in my opinion. Guardians of the Galaxy was really good.
Yeah, and they, you don't have the same kind of... You don't take the same kind of risk that, the fan base will have really strong ideas about how it should look.
Yeah.
And then really vocal people complain about, oh, this is crap, they should be like this, and it should be like that.
Yeah, like Thor being female. Or the person wielding the power of Thor being female.
Or Sue Storm being black.
Yeah.
Sun God, finally, Sun God's 30% boost to,
not Sue
Outworld.
Storm, Johnny Storm.
Oh, Johnny Storm, okay, so
It's
they're...
Johnny Storm, not Sue Storm.
Alright.
Yeah.
And what's funny, too, is that I thought the original, not the original, but the recent Fantastic Four movies, where Chris Evans was Johnny Storm, Possessed Kenshi again, were actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And I guess the shame is that he can't be Johnny Storm again if they were to reboot it because he's Captain America now.
Yeah, you can't be everybody in the universe.
Alright, I'd pay to see that movie. If you had one guy playing all the roles, that would be kind of funny.
That would be kind of crappy.
Another
hat trick, yeah.
Alright.
Well, I was saying, because everybody seems so up in arms about it, it would work as like an April Fool's prank if they had like every character in a trailer for a movie be like, I don't know, a black female character, right?
Or something just non-canon.
Yeah, just by the...
Oh, come on.
Another one. Yeah, just everybody played by either the same character or the same race of people, like it just... Because people seem to get really up in arms about that stuff.
It's like those practical jokes where the idea is good, but in execution sometimes you think, is it worth it? You know, like pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
And then, alright, Possessed Kenshi again.
There we go.
Because, you know, even afterwards, and they realize it's a joke, sometimes that feeling that they had originally of being betrayed never goes away, and it sort of colors the relationship that you have with whoever you're pranking.
Yeah.
Who knows?
And honestly, I don't mind any of that.
Tactical, finally.
Oh, there we go. As long as there's an in-universe explanation that's, like, not terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're doing something interesting. Let's see where it goes first. Really what the worst thing is when it's getting judged before it has actually even been, you know, shown created. We just see, you know, a black stormtrooper and everybody goes crazy.
Master Souls.
There we go. Right?
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing too, right? Like when it's Battlestar Galactica, for example. They had the whole cloning thing, right? They were all the Cylons were from stock, like the similar stock, but they had different people because you need a little bit of genetic variety, or you're gonna, if you have one particular genetic flaw in your one stock, you're kind of screwed if that's the only thing you have.
Yeah.
Possessed Kenshi. That's our 5th card.
Like, there's only ever been one type of clone ever. I don't know, it just seems like there could be definitely an explanation for it that people kind of just ignored. And then having the little crossbar on the lightsaber, no one like that.
Rare. There was rare. Alright, Balanced Kenshi. Alright, so this brings up a good point. I've mentioned this before, I think. And Jo Walton, who we love, she's a great human being, but also an amazing writer. If you haven't read any of her books, you should read it. She's Among Us was a Hugo Nebula Award winner. Tooth and Claw was a World Fantasy Award winner. And Shaolin Master. Nice. Actually, he's the Hat Trick Kung Lao was not the exclusive. It's Shaolin Master Kung Lao that is. So this is our second exclusive. Yeah, so it was my mistake saying I had a mistake. But anyways, Jo Walton's point was that if there is something that you like, if there's a story that you like, and you really enjoy it, your mind can almost subconsciously, Kenshi balanced, alright, can almost subconsciously come up with reasons why it's happening, to explain away inconsistencies. But if you don't like it, if you don't like something, you'll go to great lengths to cut it down.
Yeah, and it's great when something's great, you love it, and you don't need to explain away the consistencies if it's just good, too.
Well, alright, so remember, it was like that episode of Big Bang Theory where Amy, Swarm Queen D'Vorah, was talking when she watched Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
With Sheldon.
And talking about how Indiana Jones doesn't serve any actual plot.
Right. If he wasn't in the movie, it would have ended exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And it's a huge plot hole. And because Sheldon and Shaolin Master Kung Lao, again, that was fast actually. Because they loved the movie, it never occurred to them, and they were trying to come up with reasons why it made sense and why it was consistent and why it was still good.
And they're like, damn, she's right.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, Jo Walton is kind of brilliant in some ways because she's able to talk about certain things that have Swarm Queen D'Vorah, okay? She talks about, we haven't had Venomous D'Vorah yet, I don't think. Because she talks about a lot of different things, but comes up with a way of understanding it. Like one thing she talked about was the suck fairy. How when there's something that you really... sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I'd like to pretend, but it was actually I screwed up. Did not keep track of the time. The camera cut off after 20 minutes. So what we actually missed were 2 packs. One was D'Vorah, the Swarm Queen D'Vorah, and Hat Trick Kung Lao, 1 copy of each. Okay, so we're gonna get right back into it. All right. So as I was saying, Joe Walton has this really great idea about how to understand the stuff that we enjoy and how coming back to it, it doesn't always have the same kind of impact. And that was the Suck Fairy. He's got this great essay on Tor.com, which he talks about how, you know, you love something, you have really great Master Souls Ermac. Okay, good.
That's our third.
Yep, it is. And when you come back to it, it's not nearly as good as you remember it, because the Suck Fairy got to it and added a lot of suckitude to it. So, and that happens with a lot of stuff, right? We have more experiences, we get older, we just come to it with a different perspective, because a lot of the, you know, movies, books, whatever, Sun God Kotal Kahn, it's partly what the author writes and partly what we bring to it ourselves, with how we fill in sort of the white spaces.
Yeah, that's one thing that Orson Scott Card said in one of his forewords to Ender's Game.
Oh yeah, what did he say?
He said that in the end 2 people write it, it's me, but it's also you, the reader, and what you bring to it. Something along those lines.
Yeah. I just think Joe Walton's got a really good insight. Shaolin Kung Jin.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting stuff.
Alright. So what we're really seeing is an interesting pattern. There's some that we still haven't gotten yet.
So it seems that this definitely isn't just a straight up like equal % chance for all the cards, which you pretty much already knew. Some of them were supposed to be rare, but it seems like it's really unbalanced.
Ninjutsu Scorpion. Alright, so we've got 5 Ninjutsu Scorpions, but we haven't gotten any of Inferno Scorpion.
Yeah, so it seems like it's biased just against certain characters. We should check afterwards if it's biased against more expensive characters or what.
Yeah, I think that's probably true, actually. It wouldn't surprise me. Shaolin Master. Yeah, it
wouldn't. Is our third.
Yep. It wouldn't surprise me if the random number generator actually favors the cheaper ones, and the harder ones would be the more expensive ones and the exclusives, except for Cassie Cage.
Well, yeah, I saw one thing pretty recently, which is about designing a game with procedural generation, and how you're still designing it, you're just one step removed.
Hat Trick Kung Lao. Oh, that's number 6.
And so it's probably something similar, where there's a random number generator, but there's rules for what the numbers mean, or there's rules for re-rolls or something like that. There's rules for interpreting the data, right?
Yeah.
To make it work one way or another, where maybe it's a random number generator, where the lower you are, the wider range of numbers gives you a specific character.
Well,
again,
that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Where
that's number 7.
They still control the drops via a random number generator. It's just a guided one.
Yeah, the really difficult thing is, because it takes so long to open the packs, the sample size, even if we're opening 100, is still relatively small. It gives us a sense of what's available. Demolition, Sonya Blade.
Yeah, and if there's demand, we could potentially do, like we said, I think we're probably going to cap this at 100 instead of going for the until we get bored route. But we might do...
I think we're already there.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually okay with this, but I think if there's demand for it, we might... Potentially, I'm not making any actual promises here, we might do another 100, and then see how both together stack up, something like that, right?
And this video is a great demonstration of why you're usually... Sun God! That's our first, or the second one. Alright, so it's a great demonstration of why you're usually the cameraman. Because I have trouble paying attention to the screen. Alright, so we still haven't had a Assassin Kitana. We still haven't had a Venomous D'Vorah. We haven't had Commando Kano. Swarm Queen again. That's number 5. We haven't had Quan Chi, Warlock Quan Chi. We haven't had Reptile. We haven't had Inferno Scorpion. We haven't had Sub-Zero, Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
Yeah, so there definitely is a bias, because I find it hard to believe that over this many pack openings, these patterns wouldn't be actual patterns built into the way that the game selects cards.
Oh, that's fair. Shaolin. Alright, so that's number 4. So what's alright, so what's cool is lately you've been watching a lot of those game designer videos.
I've been watching more technical stuff.
So
not just for games, but like for a lot of stuff, yeah.
What have you seen lately that's been interesting?
I don't know. Extra Credits. Extra Credits is a great channel for that kind of stuff, where they're just, another one. So there's just, there's a lot of really interesting stuff there about how to make characters, how people make characters, the way that levels are designed to be interesting.
Yeah, what was funny, the video that I just watched recently that you showed me was, I totally lost my train of thought. It was talking about Ninjutsu again. Crap. That's number 6. About the glitches on Legend of Zelda.
See me number 5, sorry. Oh yeah, that was A+ Start. Another great channel.
Yeah, no, it was just funny that, I guess it depends on the context that you're talking about, but glitches often can mean very different things to different people, because those are really, they're sort of cheats. Mournful Kitana again.
Well, a lot of them are glitches that have uses as ways to skip areas or ways to cheat, but a lot of them by themselves aren't actually useful except in a few specific areas.
Right.
Stuff that's not supposed to happen. And because I think glitches happen a lot more often in useful ways or just in entertaining ways when you get something like an RPG, Kotal Kahn,
Blood God,
where you actually have a massive environment to code. You can't code every single shape on every side, so sometimes on the insides it's hollow. From the top you can't access it because it's not something that's really ever meant to be seen. And so there's a little thing that allows you to go through a wall or something that allows you to do so many other things with it.
So what's interesting, Blood God again.
No, again.
Right. Number 7. Alright, so what's interesting now that we were thinking and looking at a higher level kind of thing, the set of Mortal Kombat and Immortals and Injustice, they're relatively simple games.
Yeah, and there's a very narrow scope for glitches to happen in useful ways. But it's because of all the small complexities that within those is where you're actually finding the glitches, right? Like, you're not finding many massive glitches that cause the game to really crash, and not glitches, game-breaking glitches, which people often find are the problem. There's a lot more smaller things that do unexpected stuff, and it allows you to exploit it.
Mm-hmm. So when a game is so simple, I mean, again, we're taking it a little bit away from the glitches. When a game is this simple, what do you think the appeal... Sun God again, finally. What do you think is the appeal? Because it really is, like, at their core, these are all grinding farming games, right?
I think part of the appeal is the same appeal that's always been with fighting games, which is getting good at it. Where, in fighting games, really, you don't progress at all except for your skill and, maybe your characters. Oh,
Commando Kano. Okay, sorry to interrupt, but I love that the other Kano, his passive, I already said this, but his passive is that he's cheap. Okay.
Yeah, but, in fighting games, you know...
Oh! Rare, finally.
Nice. Yeah. There's, there we go, another Ninjutsu Scorpion. A lot of games are centered around upgrading and unlocking areas. So basically, you get, your character gets better, you get to the next area where you fight harder enemies, which allows your character to get better faster, and so on and so on. But fighting games are really boiled down to a lot more of the skill. And I think, like, for juggling and stuff, there's a lot of that skill that is still here, even in the mobile version.
Oh, sure. Nuances, right? Like, really subtle things, like when there's a space between the first attack and the second attack in a combo so that you can sneak in your special, right?
And this is something that you notice a lot more in Mortal Kombat than even the other mobile games that are made by Warner Brothers. Because there's so few levels that you actually progress in the single player, almost all the game is multiplayer, where they try to match you up against roughly even opponents. So the question becomes, why get better if really, like, you know, sure, getting better means it's easier to get gear, but if you play at a low level, no one else has gear either. Why would you ever get...
Rare one.
Oh, there's another one, yeah. quick succession.
Ninjutsu Scorpion.
But why would you get better when they always make an effort to make it the same difficulty no matter how good you are? And it's mastery. It's getting really good. It's getting that kind of progress that comes with a lot of like RPGs and games like that. But it's also getting the skill that means you can beat it. And it's a combination of those two that makes this game good for people who like fighting games, good for people who like upgrade games, good for completionists like us. And I think you like fighting games a lot. I like RPG games a lot. And I think this is fun for all of the audiences.
Alright, I'm going to come back to the thought that you just mentioned where that there's almost something, a subtle kind of discouragement from completely finishing it because then you end up matched up against guys that are too strong. I think in Mortal Kombat even, Mournful Kitana again, there's actually even a greater disincentive to do that because they have the bonus missions. Souls are so hard to get, and one of the ways to get them is the daily bonus missions, right?
And leveling up is one of them.
And leveling up is one of them. So if you actually leveled up all your guys, you would not be able to get souls on those missions. And sure, you can replace them, but there's always a chance that you'll get stuck with one level up 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yeah.
Alright, that's the last one. Yeah, that's the last one.
Cool. I didn't think we'd have anybody maxed at the end of this.
We've got 2, I think Ninjutsu Scorpion is maxed.
And what I said before, I want to make a little bit of an amendment to it. Because obviously there's a bunch of games where there is upgrades for the characters. I think some of the Soul Calibur games had that. There's games like that. But they're never notable, and they never feel like a huge part of the game, right? They never feel like a really unbalancing force. And, you know, if one person has it, they kind of all have it, and it finds a way of balancing itself out again, right?
Yeah.
Where the upgrades are kind of thing that are cool, and it's an interesting way of measuring progress other than just simply unlocking characters. But they're never a huge part of the game, and they're never that memorable. Oftentimes they don't even carry through between games for fighting games because they kind of play around with these
He's
mechanics.
maxed out too.
Ooh, another one, yeah. So I think that's why this is so interesting, because it applies to a lot of the same sensibilities of both types of games centered on upgrades, and games centered around pure skill, and also games centered around fighting and beating people up and feeling powerful. And I think it has all of those things in different amounts, and it's an interesting combination of them that you don't normally see in any one of the games. There's obviously always exceptions, like Dark Souls is very skill-based too. I've been playing that recently, and it's been really fun. So there's
I've been watching you play that. It looks like a really... Yeah, it looks like a really complicated, immersive game. What's interesting to me, though, is just how difficult it is.
It's so satisfying. The difficulty is... it's punishing. And it's evil at times, but none of it feels so unfair to be an actual barrier to play.
I think that's that point where it's unfair is really critical, because I think that's one of the problems that people have with, say, the hackers in the online play with any of these 3 games, right? When you feel like that, especially in Mortal Kombat, when they've hacked the attack or the power generation, so there's 3 guys that come in with 3 bars of power, so they can do their special immediately. So that if you ever feel like you don't have a chance, it's not satisfying anymore.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're out of your league, it's not fun. How much did we get back?
I think 18
too fast.
souls, sorry. I was in a rhythm.
Yeah, I want to see how much we're getting back considering... Oh, another rare gear. Alright, I want to see how much we actually get back when we've got something maxed out. Considering we're spending 120...
I'm not sure how many souls it was, to be perfectly honest.
Probably not a lot.
I think it was 18.
Oops. Oh, hold on. Alright, sorry about that again. I take full responsibility as a cameraman today. I bumped the camera, so we didn't miss anything. Let's keep on going. Sorry, what were we talking about? Warlock! Quan Chi, finally! That's our first one.
I don't actually remember.
Oh yeah, just competitiveness.
Oh yeah.
Right? How I think...
You feel gypped.
Yeah, and what's funny is, it's not even just how high the hackers rank, but sometimes even if you're matched with... Let's say at the end of the season they get rid of all the hackers off the list. They actually did a clean purge, which they don't always do. Swarm Queen D'Vorah again. Alright, So even if they did a clean purge, there's something still frustrating about it, especially when they don't deal with them quickly enough, where you face them and then you lose out on the rewards of finishing 5 battle ladder or 7 battle ladder because you just had no chance.
Where it's like no matter how good you are, there's none of that matters if one guy can just hack.
Ah, finally! That's
there
your first one. Alright.
Yeah, and I think they do a fair job when they get rid of hackers and stuff, and they don't always do that, but it's games that really never make you feel like you're playing your progress, you're caring about it is not valuable.
Right, the time that you've committed to it. I think, again, wow, that was
fast.
After not many.
Yeah.
I think part of it is the attachment, right, that you feel to the characters. That's why even though a lot of these 3 games are very similar to each other, they have superficial differences, they have cosmetic differences, but and there's people that play all 3 like we do.
Yeah, the core play is always the same. Ooh, sacrificial knife, another rare gear.
Finally!
We're getting a lot of really rare stuff in the second half.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
So
exactly. It is really almost exactly like the odds are balancing themselves out. Like the 1% chances are happening because we've done it close to 100 times. There we go, so she's maxed out.
So I think a lot of it has to do with the attachment to the characters, right? And that's why I think Injustice is so much more popular because, superheroes, right?
Yeah.
These DC properties have been around for forever.
Forever, yeah.
So it's easy to care about the characters inherently, so you don't need... the game is still good. Blood God again. 30!
Souls.
That sucks!
That's low.
So we blew 90 souls on getting the support cards. Yeah, so Injustice, right? So, similar play. So why is Injustice so much more popular? First it came out before all the other ones, but there's that attachment we have to the heroes from all the stories that we've watched in movies and TV shows and read in books. Spectral Ermac. Yeah, so again, I'm sure there's lots of people that play all of them, but the appeal's got to be a little bit more than just the farming and grinding, because there's only so much time in the day that you can do that, right?
Yeah. And I think they use the farming and grinding. I think that's a tactic too. Maybe unintentional, but you're building up a connection, and you're building a kind of what you feel like is sunk time where you're like, well, if I just get here, I'll be able to have more fun. If I get here, if I get to, my first whole gold team, I'll have more fun. If I get to beat the game, I'll have more fun. If I get to have 2 gold teams, if I get 1 maxed out gear. There's all these kind of small incremental goals that you can have.
26! Rip off.
Where you can go, every time I do that, I'm going to have more fun with the game from that moment on. Every time I do this is going to be better. Where you feel like there's so much that you're missing out on, and if you could just, seconds are in armor.
Yeah. I think what you mentioned there is really good, like the sunk time. That's kind of Possessed Kenshi. That's kind of a fallacy, isn't it? Where, I don't even mean specifically a fallacy, but just one of those disorders in thinking where you feel like you've already sunk this much time in, so you've invested it, and you don't want to give up on your investment.
It's what makes you finish crappy movies.
Yes. I always wonder about those people who are able to walk out of a movie that they don't like.
Yeah, and, there's this one thing. We're getting in way too deep here with some of the stuff we're talking about. But,
Warlock! Punchy!
Nice. Second one. So it's called a dollar auction, where basically you sell $1, or really any amount of money, anything. And the catch is that the first person and the second person, first and second highest bids, both have to pay for it. So it starts out making sense. Somebody bids like maybe $0.25, and then somebody bids like, I don't know, more than that. Let's say 50 cents. And the person who bids $0.25 goes
30.
30. There we go.
Sorry.
Goes, crap. If he wins now, I'm paying $0.25 for nothing, so I should pay 75 cents. And then the guy is like, oh, crap. Maybe I won't make any money, but if I pay $1,
I come out even?
yeah, at least it won't cost me anything, right? he's like, and then the guy who pays 75 cents is saying, $0.75 for nothing? Okay, I'm just gonna pay, like, 10 cents more than that, and then instead of losing 75 cents, I'll only lose 10 cents. And it gets to a point where both people, no matter what, are gonna pay more than $1, even just to buy $1 back, and it's, like, a completely rational way of thinking can lead you to do something really irrational, which is kind of the same thing with the sunk time, where you're like, well, if I already put 10 hours into it, and I've just now determined that after the beginning, it's boring.
Demolition, we're getting close to the end. We are, I think we're about 98 packs. I think when we hit 37,798 souls, we'll be down to...
A little bit over that, though. 37, like, 800 or 900, because of the ones we sold.
Oh, right. That's right, I haven't been keeping track of that.
But I think it's the same thing with games like this, where they're like, oh, well, I've already put so much time into it, I guess I can just get, like, a couple more incremental pieces of progress, and then I'll stop when I feel like I can put this down and say that I've beaten it in my way of defining beaten, right? Right,
it's the obsessive compulsive trait that lends it to completionists wanting to play just to finish it, and at some point maybe not even enjoy it anymore, but just feel like they want the freedom from it, right?
We should probably tally up how many packs we've opened now, because
I think that's it. I think we're it. I think this is it.
50?
120, yeah. There's 120 we've opened, got money back. I think that's 100 packs.
Yeah.
All right, so then what we'll do is take a few minutes, Covert Ops, Cassie Cage. All right, so we're gonna take a minute to take a look at our totals. Did we get? All right, so did we even get a single Venomous D'Vorah?
I don't think so.
We did not get a single Noxious Reptile.
Here, we'll talk about this after we make sure tally and everything.
All right, so let's see. 5, 9. Oh, actually, you know what? Screw it. This will be close enough to 100. I think we're it. This is it. So let's take a look at our collection and see what we've got.
Collection.
All right, so what it looks like, let's do the bigger view. So what we're missing from the combat packs, even after taking 100, is Venomous D'Vorah. We're missing Sub-Zero, Grandmaster Sub-Zero, Noxious Reptile, and we're definitely missing. The things we did not even expect to get.
Name. Where is it?
We did not expect to get Johnny Cage A-list. We know that's from the the card pack, right? So, and also Nimble Reptile and Cryomancer Sub-Zero. So they're in what's the equivalent of the silver pack that you can buy for coins. We didn't get those, but we didn't expect it. We're missing Venomous D'Vorah. We only got one of Commando Kano. And none of Noxious Reptile, one of Inferno Scorpion, one of Tactical Sonya Blade. Wow, she's actually pretty rare. And none of Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
Yeah. So do you want to just go through the number that we got of everything, or is that... I guess that is what some people probably came here to see if you've scrubbed through to the end of the video.
So, here we go. Cassie Cage, we got 5 copies, so she's 4. Swarm Queen D'Vorah, we got 9 copies of her. Master Souls Ermac, 3. Spectral Ermac, 5. Johnny Cage Stunt Double Johnny Cage, 2. Commando Kano, 1. Balanced Kenshi, 6.
No, Balanced Kenshi 5, Possessed Kenshi 6.
No, that's their number, right? But the number of cards we got.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mournful Kitana, we got 6. Assassin Kitana, we finally got 2, but that was in the tail end. Like, if it hadn't been for the last, 20 packs, I guess, we would have had none. Blood God Kotal Kahn, we got 9 copies. Sun God, we got 3. Bojitsu Kung Jin, we got 2. Shaolin Kung Jin, we got 7.
Sorry, 1 second. How many did we actually get at Possessed Kenshi? Did we sell any or no?
Possessed Kenshi? We got 7.
No, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
Alright. Warlock Quan Chi, we got 2. We got none of Noxious Reptile. We got 1 of Inferno Scorpion. We got 9 copies of Ninjutsu Scorpion. We got 5 copies of Demolition Sonya Blade. We got 1 only of Tactical Sonya Blade. And none of Grandmaster Sub-Zero.
So there you go.
Also of note is that we did not get any of Raiden. Oh, no, it's not Raiden, sorry. Flaming Fist Kung Lao.
Yeah, Raiden's a challenge. We're both
Yeah,
messing up
that was a
here.
previous challenge that we didn't actually start on this account. So the other point is that in the combat packs, there are unlikely to be any copies of the challenge characters.
Yeah. I don't know if there are. Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, alright, that was an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Komoda.